Hey guys, welcome to Nerdify.
Hey guys, welcome to Nerdify Podcast. This is another episode with your host Reggie
And James.
and we are not getting any better at this intro shit. So
really not. We gotta get a dedicated thing going on here.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to. No. They're just gonna accept us as it is. I mean, clearly that's just how it's gonna be.
Well, we don't want something more unique than "Hey guys." You're listening to.
Sup, guys? You know what this is.
Oh man.
Okay, well, so I guess first thing we're going to talk about a little bit is the workout.
Oh yes.
It's just kind of a little bit of an update on the actual workout itself and what's going on with us, not really like how we're feeling type stuff. So I'm an idiot, and
yes,
continue. Thanks, James.
No problem. Anytime.
Yeah. I'm an idiot, and I hurt my wrist sometime in the middle of the fourth week, and so I sprained it, and I have not been able to work out for like the past week and a half, and we're taking a break this week to let my wrist heal a little bit before we get back to it, but it's still just a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think it might actually be a pretty nice break,
Yeah, I mean, I hate to have like stopped just before we really hit the 1 month mark, but
yeah, I guess I meant more. It would have been a nice break, like in between the first and second month.
Yeah.
But it's just close enough. We'll pick it right back up and just continue how we were, and it'll be fine. Everything will be great.
Yeah, we'll be all right. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to I guess let you guys know that that's what's up, and so.
Yeah. And I'm also taking a break while he's doing because it wouldn't be I guess accurate scientifically if I were to continue while he stops, since we're comparing the two versions of this exercise. We need to do it the same way every week,
Yeah.
So that's important. So I am also taking a break while he cannot work out. Then we'll start back up at the exact same time.
Yeah, and it depends. I may have to take it a little bit easy whenever I get back into it, just to make sure my wrist doesn't get re-injured. But other than that, I mean, I think I'll be good.
All right, safety first, though. So
safety first. Yeah. So I guess today's episode we're just gonna kind of chit chat about old ass animes. I guess specifically like, nostalgic type anime stuff that we grew up with, and whether or not we think they hold up over time. I know James, you said you specifically have something like that you had in mind in terms of this topic.
Yeah. Specifically, like, I remember back when I was younger, I watched 4Kids like religiously every weekend. That was like my Saturday morning block, because I didn't have cable. And at one point, one of the shows I remember being like ridiculously into for no reason was Fighting Foodons.
And this is a show I always forget about. Oh my
God.
Anytime someone mentions it, I was like, Fighting Foodons. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't remember much about it except for it was a bunch of people and little food monster things. It was weird.
I can't forget about it because it had one of the best intros of any anime. Super catchy.
Super catchy.
It was super catchy. So, go look it up. Whoever's listening, look it up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just YouTube that. It is amazing. But yeah, no, it was about these culinary fighters. I forget exactly how they brought their food to life, but they would cook something, and they would add like the main guy would cook mainly fried rice, and he would bring forth a creature called Fried Ricer. Really creative, I know, but we'll move on from that. And he would add peas to the recipe to give him a power boost, or carrots or some shit like that. I don't know, but
hold on. I'm pulling up the intro. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to play.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it'll play.
We'll find out, but I want to hear it. Oh my God.
Nope. It says "fuck you." That's what it says.
Is that what it says? That's weird. I don't know. It's a kids show.
Yeah, it just said "fuck your shit" and it's out. So
wow, That's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Anyway, you can look it up yourself. So.
Yeah, you look it up. I remember watching it, and I watched every episode, everyone that came on. I don't even know why, because later, like, I'd forgotten about it at some point, and then when I was an adult, I remembered it. I think someone ended up like playing the intro, and I was like, "Oh my god, I know that, and it's amazing." And so I tracked it down and started watching it. I couldn't make it through the first episode. It was so bad. I'm pretty sure it's the worst thing I've ever seen. Honestly.
Like, what made it bad?
Just like the story was super duper cheesy. I was watching it dubbed also, so it's 90s dubbed. So
and it was produced by like, what is it, like Fox 4 Kids or whatever, and so
they aren't too good with the dubbings of the animes.
Yeah, I'm sure they're just like, hey, you know how to make noise. Let's go record you doing the show.
That was one of the lines in the first episode.
Oh my goodness.
Weird. Yeah. No, but it was just like the cheesiest thing. Like, I don't even remember what the cheesiest show before that I could think of was, but now that is it, Fighting Foodons, and I cannot watch that series, even though I have fond memories of it. Nostalgic as hell, but I just can't do it now.
Right, and so whenever you had brought this up a few days ago, when we were thinking about a topic for today's episode, the first thing I think that always comes to mind whenever I think like, oh, nostalgic cartoons that don't really stand up but people love, which for me, my brain always goes to Dragon Ball Z. And that's because, growing up, you were just like, I guess kids don't really understand pacing all that well. And so it never occurred to me while I was watching this show that it was like, oh, it's going to be like 13 episodes of nothing happening. And then finally shit happens. And so, but now I know I've gone back and I've rewatched it. I'm just like, oh my God, when the fuck does this shit end? Like, you've been talking for 3 episodes, powering up. Can you please just punch somebody?
Something. Yeah, right. Oh my God. Oh, you know what else? It's kind of weird. When I was like watching these shows as a kid, my dad would always like make fun of them, kind of, and I would get mad as a kid because I was really into this. Like, this is my shit, and my dad would make fun of it.
Oh, I think parents do that all the time. I think it's a pretty classic thing for parents to go like, who's your favorite Pokemon? Pikachu. Bless you.
Right. No, but like recently, I tried watching Yu-Gi-Oh again, and that's one of the ones I remember my dad making fun of a lot because it was a cartoon about a bunch of kids playing a card game, right? So like I'm rewatching it now as an adult, and I get through the first episode, and I'm like, Dad, I get it. I get where you're coming from. Like, as seeing this through adult eyes, like it's ridiculous.
As an adult now, like I really, really appreciate the Yu-Gi-Oh dub series.
Yeah,
that they had on YouTube. Oh my God! I just love that. Just like, let's resolve our problems using children's card games.
Oh my God! Well, see, the same thing with Dragon Ball Z Abridged. As an adult, it's much better than the original series because it's made for adults. So they get the humor. The dubbing's great, and it's still basically the same. The same things go on in the series. It's just for adults, has adult humor, and it's a lot funnier to me now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's crazy as you get older that you realize how many cartoons out there are just totally geared towards, like, selling kids' toys.
Oh my God, yeah. Wow, there was one I was reading about the other day that was solely for selling toys. Like, they had a cartoon, but the cartoon was made for selling. I can't remember what it was anymore. But it was something that I remember watching as a kid, and I'm pretty sure I had a shit ton of toys from it too. But I never thought about that growing up. I'm like, I want the toys because I'm watching the show. But that's exactly what they intended.
Beyblade was the big one,
Oh yeah.
Like, I always thought like, oh, that's cool, like Beyblades, and oh, hey, looky there, you got some stuff to go with it. That's kind of cool. Nope, it's just like, no. They totally were just like, how can we sell these shitty-ass toys? Oh, let's make a cartoon.
Well, same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I'm sure that show was made solely for selling the cards, you know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's there's a lot of shows that are just kind of, like, very obvious about it. I think one that was a little bit under the radar, but kind of I felt was trying to do the same thing was, people don't think about it a lot, like Pokemon, clearly.
Yeah, to an extent.
A lot of people don't want to think about it that way, but it clearly was like, okay, the games came first, and then the anime came out to try to sell the cards in the games. It's just...
Yep.
And then other ones that tried it, but I don't think were ever as successful, was like Digimon and Monster Rancher.
Yeah, well... what was Monster Rancher trying to say? I guess the video game? Because that's what I played. The PS1 video game that lets you switch out discs to just regular CDs to get different monsters from inside them.
Yeah, they definitely tried to push the games really hard. I mean, they still make them. The show's not longer on, but, you know, they...
I wish it was, though. I actually... Well, see, that's the thing. I haven't watched Monster Rancher since I was a kid. I remember it being a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's what I remember too, and I'm kind of afraid to go back and watch it. It's just, it sucks how much like nostalgia can like ruin things for you. But
that's so true. Oh my god.
I mean, it's kind of like the same idea that whenever you go back and you look at a game, that you're just like, oh man, like PS1 games, and you look at them, you're like, holy fuck, how did I play this? It looks like garbage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it's like Space Jam. You know, everyone that is around our age, everyone's just like, oh my god, I fucking love Space Jam. It's like my fucking, no pun intended, jam. Like, people love that shit, you know? Like, all you have to do is, come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. And people are just like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, but no. Now, I always tell people, I'm just like, don't watch that movie. Do not watch. If you want it to remain this perfect childhood thing, do not watch that movie, because good lord.
I 100% agree with that, because I own Space Jam on Blu-ray and watched it recently, and I was like, oh, why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. I mean, it still holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, like, but it's barely a movie.
Person, but Space Jam was, pun intended, my jam. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, to me, like, I don't know. It seems like such... I don't even know how it like went to theaters. It's just like, this should have been like a straight-to-TV movie. Like,
it's because Michael Jordan was involved.
Yeah, I mean...
At the time, he was the biggest star in the world, so I mean...
And you know, people are like super excited about the Space Jam 2 that's been in development hell forever, but, you know, I think the problem with that is going to be that people are going to watch it and go like, wow, this is garbage. This is not as good as the first one. And then they're going to go back and watch the first one and go like, oh, they're at the same level. Okay.
Yeah, see, number 2 is going to ruin both itself and number 1.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I guess we should get back to anime.
I guess, okay, so I'm gonna bring up one right now that is, it might make some people angry. But the original Pokemon series, I feel... Okay, so even rewatching it as an adult, it still did not ruin the whole nostalgic feeling I have, but I definitely can recognize the poor quality of the anime in general. Like, going back to watch it, it is not a great anime at all. But because I was so into Pokemon at that time, and still really am now, it kind of holds up in a way, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. Like, I think I've watched a few episodes, and I was just like, man, this is like so cheesy. And
it's the cheesiest.
And I feel like it also follows the same problem of like Dragon Ball Z, where it kind of like drags shit out, and you realize not a lot has really happened in this episode. And then it's like,
God, they have a whole lot of filler, just like things that don't even matter going on. Like,
I mean, this series has so much filler. Ash Ketchum is still 10 years old. Okay, and it's been going on since the 90s. That's a shit ton of filler. At least, you know, with Naruto, it got to where he was a fucking adult.
Right. Oh my god, yeah.
Just like I'm just waiting for the day whenever like the anime just like decides it's gonna be Ash's birthday and he turns 11.
Oh my god, they can never do that. Oh, that would ruin everything.
Fans will be outraged.
So.
Oh my god, I just want to see it happen so bad. I just like want them to do that, and then like the whole season is every episode he gets a year older. And then it gets to the last episode, you know, and he's like an adult and shit, and then he wakes up and it was like a big fever dream, and he's 10 years old again.
Okay, there was some creepypasta or some fan fiction about that. How Ash's whole journey was a fever dream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forget exactly how it all went, but that's exactly why he never ages. Is because I think it's like when. What was it? I think with the very first Team Rocket attack, I think supposedly he got caught in the blast and went into a coma for like 10 years.
Oh, God.
And so like the whole thing, his whole Pokemon journey was just a coma dream from that point on.
Oh yeah, I think I read that before. Oh yeah, and that like fucked me up when I read it. I was like, what the fuck?
It makes so much sense.
Dude, there are some fan theories out there that just like are better than the show.
I totally agree. Oh
Yeah.
my god! See, because they're not people who are making these stories from just like a fan's perspective aren't held down by like big corporate budgets and you know the way that
their
people with money
interests
want things to go. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, in the end, it's always can we make a buck off this and not what's the most entertaining thing. Yeah. You know, that's why whenever you get shows that are like a good combination of this is also making you money, but it's also a good fucking show, like, you know, My Hero Academia right now, you know, it's just like that's why they feel like such good shows. You're just like, not only is this really popular, but it's popular because it's good. I mean, there are things that are popular that are not good. Big Bang Theory. But, you know, I'm not going to name any shows, so...
Oh, no, of course not. You would just cough a little.
No, but, you know, there are those few little shows out there that seem to do really well. But in terms of going back to, like, nostalgic things, so, like, whenever I was younger, I really liked Cowboy Bebop and Trigun. And but I have yet to actually go back and like revisit them, and so I'm like curious if about you know like I'm curious if they're actually gonna hold up. I mean, you know, people keep saying like, oh yeah, they're good, but that happens a lot with like older movies too. Is that people like fondly remember a movie and it was critically acclaimed and people did love it and made a lot of money, but then you kind of go back and watch it and we're like, wow, this hasn't aged all that well. I mean, that even happens with video games too. You know, there's plenty of games that people are like, oh yeah, I love this game, and you play it and like the control, like definitely the first one that comes into mind in terms of video game, GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I played that. Growing up, like I did, and it was fun. But now I'm like, how with these controls?
Yeah, I mean, you know, whenever you played it, and then you grew up and you heard like, oh yeah, the team that made this game had never made a video game before. You go, oh wow, they did so good, and then you go back and play it, and you're like, oh no, it shows. Oh, it shows. It's bad. I mean, you know, it kind of sucks because you know, like. It goes back to the thing we were talking about earlier where you look at a game, you remember a game, and you go like, oh, I remember the graphics being like so smooth and so good looking, like almost realistic, and then you go back and look at it and it looks like a fucking Lego brick, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's nuts, but yeah, it just, I don't know where I was going with this. Oh, rewatching old shows. You know, and so I would like to go back and rewatch Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, and I actually think Cowboy Bebop is on my list somewhere, like either.
Yeah, I've watched Cowboy Bebop for the first time actually, all the way through. It was several years ago, but I was an adult. I mean, I had never seen it before, so I can't compare it to nostalgia, but I enjoyed it as an adult. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a lot of stuff like that. I'm trying to remember
I've started watching Trigun before, and I appreciated where it was coming from. Didn't seem bad to me at all.
Right.
So I don't know why I quit watching. I think other things got in the way, but
that tends to happen.
You definitely go back and try to rewatch those.
Yeah. There's what was it? Oh, Gundam. So I always talk about how much I like Gundam, but I really only watched like Gundam Wing and Gundam G. Gundam, I think, is what it was called. Like, right? Okay. Yeah, it was Gundam Wing and Gundam G Gundam.
I was never into Gundam. So.
Well, I just know that they were on a Toonami or something.
Yeah,
maybe it was Adult Swim, but I remember watching them and loving the shit out of them, and that may have just been fueled by my love for Transformers, because of robots. But now I really haven't watched any Gundams, and so I'm afraid that if I go watch a Gundam, I won't like it anymore, and I'll just be like, why? Oh, it's tarnished forever.
I was never into giant robot anime, or I was very picky with my giant robot animes.
Did you like Big O?
I like the feel of Big O. I could never catch it when it was on for some reason. I guess it came on right as I was on the bus or something. So I never actually got to watch a whole lot of it. But what I did see, I did like, because it was basically like
a noir
Batman
style
sort of thing going on there.
Yeah.
It was basically a Japanese Batman, right? Is that what's...
Yeah, right? I mean, it was kind of like a noir detective-driven type deal, and I could be totally wrong, but this is just what I remember. But yeah, I remember that, and then I don't think it was an anime. I want to say it was just a Cartoon Network show, but Megas XLR. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that, actually. I don't know what that is.
It was definitely drawn in a more American style, which is why I think it wasn't an anime, that it was a cartoon. But it was about some redneck, some kind of chubby redneck dude, and he had a monster truck or maybe just a truck that turned into a robot he could get into and fight with, and he was just kind of thrown into it out of nowhere, and I don't know, but I just remember loving the shit out of it, and I think it ran for only a season or two. But you should check it out.
I will. I will play this back and just text me the name.
Yeah,
I know I'm going with the hard way.
Yeah, just let me get to about 30 minutes into this podcast and find that one thing that you said.
Well, I gotta listen to the whole thing anyway for the most part. I gotta edit it and whatnot, but
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Kirby Right Back at Ya?
Was that the one that was also on? I don't know if it was on 4Kids, but it was on one of those
It was like Kids WB.
Yeah, Kids WB. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I vaguely remember watching that.
That's one of I like Kirby a lot, and I like some of the characters in that show. But even as a kid watching it, I knew it was just garbage. I think it was also because a lot of it was CGI, and I'm not a big fan of traditional animation mixed with CGI, or really CGI animation in general at all. It has to be done just right, and I was even more critical back then of it. I hated it altogether, so I think that might have been a big thing for me. But I watched it because it was on, and I didn't have cable, so it was either that or the Saturday morning news.
Yeah.
So I'm I'll just sit through Kirby.
Yeah, I think that was running the same block with Sonic the Hedgehog and
Sonic X. Yeah.
And there was speaking of CGI shows, there's two that I can distinctly remember. One of them I absolutely fucking hated the style and everything, and I don't ever remember what it's called. You may know. It's the people were blue skinned and I don't know, it was very technologically driven.
Oh, hang on. I have this. I know this. I know what it is. Fuck. What is it?
I know, it bothers me. I can never remember it whenever.
My tongue. I'm gonna start googling. You keep talking. Hang on.
Okay. Well, the other one I know is Code Lyoko.
Oh yeah, I never got into Code Lyoko.
But I think Code Lyoko switched back and forth between drawn and CG, if I remember correctly. And
yeah, like it's something like in the real world, they're hand drawn, and when they go into the computers, they're all CG.
Right, yeah, and I really liked Code Lyoko. It seemed to have like a really good story with it, but I don't. I mean, now that if I think back on it, it's probably pretty garbage, and I'm sure the animation was terrible. But yeah, did you find that other one yet?
I'm still looking.
Like I don't know. God, people.
It's on my tongue. Jeez.
I know it's. I want to say it was like glitched or something, and that's probably totally completely wrong.
That doesn't sound right at all to me. Oh man.
I'm not gonna be able to find this.
I don't know either. I'm googling random things and not getting anything.
Right? Yeah. It's.
Was it a '90s show or 2000s?
I don't know. I want to say it was sometime in the 2000s. I mean, there are probably people listening to this right now going like, "Dude, it's fucking this." And we're just like, we all know. I mean, I type in like blue skin people and like it just brings up fucking Avatar.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. It's just giving me anime that has blue in the title, like Blue Gender.
Oh god, yeah. I don't know. It just we're not gonna be able to find it.
No, we're not.
We'll mention it eventually, but
that's gonna eat at me. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
okay. Well, I don't want to waste any more time on that.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, we just spent a bunch of time talking about nothing, trying to find shit out.
Well,
I promise it's worth
it. The whole purpose of this podcast is talking about nothing. That's what we do.
Oh yeah. So but I'm trying to think of like the other shows that were on during that Kids WB blog because I feel like there were a lot that were good.
Cubics was one that that's what I thought you were gonna say before you brought up the Blue People anime. I thought you were gonna say Cubics is anime, a more American style, all 3D. I hated it.
What, Cubics?
Yeah, it was something like in the future, everyone has like these fighting robots, and the main character didn't have one, and he got a special one, and it's just made of a bunch of cubes in like a humanoid shape, and it can like rearrange to be like a vehicle, and I don't know, it was weird.
Oh god, yeah, they made a video game and my brother got it. I remember this shit. I just looked it up and like, yeah, it was weird. I didn't like it. I thought it was very stiff. I mean, I get that this is like at the beginning of like CG animation type stuff, but yeah, this show is garbage.
The one cool thing that they did is Kids WB ran a contest. For like, so like you made up your own robot, you drew it up and everything, and you sent it in, and they picked one, and whichever one they picked, they actually made it and put it in the show, one episode, and you get to come in and do the voice of that thing, and so that was really cool to watch that happen. Like I watched the episode and I was like, oh god, that kid made that one, and it's in there now, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I would like vaguely remember that. You said cubics and you were talking about the cubes, and then my first thought was like, I had, oh man, Zoids.
Oh my god, Zoids. Okay, so there's one giant robot anime that I did like, but it was from like a particular season. I can never find what season it was.
Yeah, I don't know if like if it stands up, if it's any good, but all I remember is that like I had like a couple of like really big Zoids like as toys, but I also had this like one little, had a little set that came out and you could like interchange all the pieces, and they were like, they fit together like cubes, and so when you said cubics, that was like my first thought.
Oh, actually my entry into Zoids was kind of weird because I didn't know I was getting into it. Like as a kid, I remember I was at like a babysitter's or something like that, and we went to a yard sale down the street, and I found a robot brontosaurus you know, and like you flip, like it was put together with all these parts, and all the joints had like little red rubber pieces to hold them on and everything, so you could take it all apart, and like the top had like the head had a cockpit with actually a little guy actually in there you could take out, and you flip the switch and he would like walk forward. And I got it because it was like the coolest thing I'd ever seen, you know. I played with it forever, and later I discovered Zoids, and I saw it on an episode. I was like, oh, that's what I have. I have a Zoid. And so that was like, and the funny thing is, that's not even the Zoid series that I ended up enjoying the most. I found one later that I liked better than the previous Zoid series that I watched. I don't even know what that was anymore. I gotta look it up at some point.
That's funny that you found the toys before you did that, but yeah, I mean, I remember watching the show and just being like, I gotta fucking have this shit. I mean, like Liger and all that, oh man, that takes me back. But see, this is what we're talking about, like, you remember things fondly, but the real challenge is going back and seeing if those things are actually any good.
See, also the funny thing is, Zoids is one of those that's like half hand-drawn, half CG, but I still enjoyed it. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, because wasn't it like all the characters were like hand-drawn, but the actual Zoids themselves were CG?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they would do it. It makes it much easier to animate the fight scenes and everything. Yeah,
definitely. Especially with all those moving parts and robots, I can kind of tell. I mean, but Gundam did it. They did hand-drawn, so what's their excuse, you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm still looking.
I found a picture of the what do you call it? The Zoid series that I remember liking, but it's not like different from any other. Like the name, it just says Zoids. Like, and I found a different picture of a different series of Zoids, and it just says Zoids. So I don't really.
I mean, can't you just pull up the Wikipedia page?
I did, but I'll go back to it. It's just Zoids Wikipedia. What am I looking for? Anime. Here we go. Chaotic Century, New Century Zero. Let's see what that is. Now, let's see. I think I like this one too. New Century, Zoid's New Century, has like the protagonist is like a blonde-haired kid. He pilots the Liger, the white lion. See, now I'm thinking it's this one because I remember these robots a lot. I think it was this one. New Century is the one I like. I think I wanted to like one of the other ones because I like the character designs more, but I can't even find that one right now. So yeah, it was New Century that I watched and I really liked.
Man, I'm still like fucking bothered so much that I cannot remember the name of that goddamn show.
Oh man, we'll remember. We'll find it as soon as we stop the recording.
Oh yeah, I know it'll pop into one of our fucking heads, but it's whatever. Man, I'm trying to remember like what else I had watched as a kid. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh god. Okay, I literally just found a picture. I was just about to talk about something else, and I scrolled down and found it. Now I got to make sure it mentions the actual damn thing on the webpage. Of course, it's on fucking BuzzFeed.
Oh yeah, of course.
ReBoot. I think that.
Oh man, hang on.
Google that.
I know
shit.
this name.
ReBoot Kids Show. Yeah. There we go. That's what it is. It's ReBoot, folks. I'm sorry
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's ReBoot.
Oh, yep, there it is. Okay, I see it.
Yep, I hated that show. I thought it was absolutely garbage.
Yeah, just the look of the characters just turned me off entirely to it. It looks, even for the time, I thought they looked horrible.
Yeah, I feel like
that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at the main character's dreadlocks. Oh my god, so bad.
Yeah, I feel
I
like...
don't think they're supposed to be dreadlocks, that's the thing. I think they're supposed to be like...
just hair?
Just hair. Dreadlocks.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, it's just like... Oh my god, okay, and there's like an ensemble.
You got a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
What the hell?
Really?
I mean, maybe the story's really fucking good, but I can't get past how terrible it looks.
Bad. It's so bad.
Oh my god, everything looks so stiff. Everything looks like they just scanned some action figures and just... I don't know this. So I just remember there were just different things about the way certain things were animated on the show that just bothered the ever loving shit out of me. But I mean, maybe if they remade it with the same story, maybe it'll be like decent. I don't know. That's probably wrong. I don't know.
I feel like it would only bring in fans of the previous series, both of them. Both as fans.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anyone who watched that show, to be honest. I mean, actually, I think Lucas might have, but Lucas watches any anime, so.
Yeah, Lucas is very non-discriminate whenever it comes to things. So.
It came from Japan. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
How about show? Have you watched any nostalgic shows that did hold up?
Nostalgic shows that did hold up.
Yeah. That you're like, I can stand this as an adult. It's pretty good still.
Rurouni Kenshin, is that what it was, right? Rurouni Kenshin?
Yeah. I never watched that as a kid.
I think it stands up. It's good. It's different than when I remembered it, but it still was good. What else? I know Yu Yu Hakusho is still very good. I haven't actually rewatched it, but
I'm still gonna watch that. I still have to.
Yeah, I know from people that have, whenever we used to watch it and now rewatch it, they say it's still just as good. I'm trying to.
I started. I've watched quite a bit of Inuyasha. I didn't watch it as a kid, but watching it as an adult, I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, I remember vaguely watching because it was an Adult Swim cartoon. Yeah. And so I would get to watch it every once in a while, mostly during the summer. But I remember enjoying that anime quite a bit.
Like, I guess it's still kind of cheesy, a little campy, but like I can overlook all that. It's not too bad. It didn't have, as far as I can tell, it didn't have a whole lot of filler. Everything tied into the main story at some point. So I mean, I was still enjoying it very much. I need to get back on that actually.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has that like '90s anime feel, and
that's the thing. I love the look of like 80s and 90s anime. Like,
really?
I actually do.
I hate it. Like, it's really difficult for me to look at something that was animated in that style of the 80s and 90s and go like, can I get past this? I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. Like, Ranma 1/2, I've heard is very, very good.
I want to watch that so bad.
But the style, it's just going to take me a while to get used to. I mean, things like Sailor Moon, if I hadn't watched those before, I'd probably be very turned off by it.
Yeah, Sailor Moon was one of those that didn't really hold up.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt a little weird. I mean, it definitely felt like it was catered towards little girls.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, then most of like the magical girl animes are.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I'd recommend to anybody out there, if you liked things like Sailor Moon whenever you were younger, I would definitely suggest, I can never remember the name of this fucking anime, but it's weird and long, but I think it's Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I think that's what it is. If you just type
Bless
in...
you.
Yeah, thank you. That's the disease I have right now. No, so it's Puella, Puella Magica, or Magi Madoka Magica. I think if you type in something like that in Google, you're gonna get this show. But anyway, it basically takes that whole magical girl thing and like flips it on its head a little bit, and it's kind of brutal, and it's good. You should. I would recommend it.
Oh my god. Okay, so you, by saying that thing you just said,
Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Yeah, that. By you saying just Magi, it reminded me of another show that I watched as a kid that I haven't seen it as an adult, but I can already tell you it was utter garbage, and it was Magi Nation.
I've never heard of that.
Did you ever watch that? Okay, so I had it was a Game Boy Color game at first. It was an RPG, and I don't remember the exact premise, but I played the crap out of it.
Are you sure? Are you sure, James, it was a game first? Because you thought Zoids was a toy first.
Well, I'm just saying I played the game first. I mean, I don't know for sure. That's the thing. But I remember playing the game first,
right,
and then hearing about the cartoon. and I watched the cartoon because I played the game and I was addicted to the game. But yes, I'm looking at pictures of it now, and it just looks like just the worst. I don't know how I played it or watched it, but I remember playing the game though.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and you gotta wonder, like, kids that are watching stuff nowadays, like, will they go back and, like, rewatch some of the same stuff they're watching now and go, like, oh, how did I watch this? This was garbage.
Oh, well, see, and that's another thing. Like, when my daughter gets old enough to start, like, choosing the shows that she wants to watch, I'm going to try my best not to be so critical, because I remember how I felt when I was really into a show and, like, my dad would come by and just make a comment. Why are you watching this show? Look at what they're doing. Why are they playing cards on the TV? Play cards in real life. That kind of thing,
Yeah.
Even because, I mean, I can see where my dad's coming from now as an adult watching Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm going to try to keep an open mind, like, try to think back how I felt, and, like, I'm just going to let her have it, just it's fine. She's enjoying this. It's all that matters,
Oh, yeah.
So, unless it's something stupid, then I'll make sure to say something.
Oh, yeah, no, if your kid watches a shitty show, you've got to just make fun of them nonstop.
Well, see, and that's where the vicious cycle just turns back over, because I'm sure my dad thought Yu-Gi-Oh! Was stupid, which is why he said something.
Yeah, I mean, most parents were just like, what the fuck is this Pokemon shit? And just like, what? I don't understand it.
Why you get Pokemon? What, you got a Charizard? It's a Charmander, Mom. Pikachu, Mom. It's just those kind of things, Here's a show I keep forgetting. Actually, I don't know how I keep forgetting about it, because I own 2 DVDs of it, and it's Hamtaro.
Oh my god, Hamtaro. Okay,
I
so
still love Hamtaro.
yes,
I don't care.
I haven't watched it. And part of me feels like it's probably terrible.
It's not the best, but even watching it as an adult, nostalgia wins hand. Just all over nostalgia wins.
The rose-colored glasses went out.
Was that?
It said the rose-colored glasses went out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I watched, before I bought the DVDs, I watched it again as an adult, and I'm like, yeah, I need to buy some DVDs of this. I want to own this.
Yeah, I remember Hamtaro coming out of nowhere, and for whatever reason, I just loved the shit out of it.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Even as a kid, it was a ridiculous premise. Like, you're following hamsters around. What can hamsters do? But they always found a way to do something.
Yeah, apparently fucking everything.
Every day.
Do you remember there was like some controversy around that show saying how like there were like demonic messages in the theme song or some shit?
Yeah, I had a friend in high school. That's when the show came out, when I was in high school. Or maybe it was junior high. I think it was between junior high and I don't know. Anyway,
I remember this for me coming out sometime in junior high.
It had to have been then. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I remember my friend telling me that, like, oh yeah, they have secret messages trying to brainwash you in both the intro and the outro, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right, yeah.
And they tried to explain it to me, and I'm like, it's a fucking song, get over it,
Right. I mean, if I remember correctly, it was like a high pitched, like really like J-poppy song, right?
Oh yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, and so like I don't know, I get like that parents and other people who like don't like it, they hear that and they're just like, oh, there's gotta be something evil about it. But like I'm pretty sure none of it was true.
No, I think it was just because it blew up so quick. Like, that show got so popular so fast. I mean, it dropped off the face of the earth just as quick. But I mean, it was scary how like popular that show got. So I think that kind of caught the attention of parents and press, and I think a lot of stuff got made up.
Oh yeah, something gets popular and people don't understand it, they're just gonna assume the worst.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I always forget like that. I'm sure there's a bunch of like Metabots. That's another show.
I'm so happy you brought that up. Because earlier when we were talking about something, I'm like, I'm going to talk about Metabots, and then I totally forgot. So I'm totally happy. I'm so happy you brought that up.
Yeah, because I was gonna bring it up when I was talking about like toys, because I remember the toys and the little coins of the Metabot medals or whatever being a big thing.
Yes. Oh my god. If I could find the DVDs, I would purchase them yesterday. Like I downloaded the series to it was one of those when I was going through that phase. Like I wonder if I'll still like shows I remember as an adult from when I was a kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that was one that I kept. Like I was digging it. Like even as an adult, it was awesome.
Because there was a couple of like tournament style ones like Zatch Bell.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, I didn't watch a whole lot of Zatch Bell.
I liked Zatch Bell. It had a good like idea behind it, but it just I think of course it got canceled. But I mean another one that like kind of is somewhat similar is oh god damn it, what is the name? It's the anime where there's like witches or maybe magic users, and then there's some people who like can turn into weapons and they get paired up together and
Soul Eater?
Yeah, Soul Eater.
Soul Eater, yeah. I watched Soul Eater all the way through. I like that one.
It's kind of like a similar premise in a way.
Kinda.
I mean, it's just like... But I feel like there was something else like Zatch Bell, but also came out at the same time. I remember there being two shows that were very similar to each other, but maybe it was Metabots. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was Metabots. But yeah, I had the toys. I had... I want to say that there was one particular Metabots video game that I liked a lot, but I don't remember. But I remember having the little plastic toys. All the limbs came off, and they all came with like a stats card. You could tell like what each limb was the stat of what it was. You could switch them out for different ones.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
Man, and speaking of like old nostalgic stuff, like even I mean, of course we haven't really been staying on anime, but just talking about I guess nostalgic shit in general. But like back in the late '90s, early 2000s, a big thing was toys to sell to kids that scanned things, and so I know the biggest one was scannerz. And you would go around and you would scan fucking groceries and catch monsters.
I went berserk when I got a scanner. Oh my god! Like
I mean, I hated going to the store, but then as soon as I got that shit, I'd be like, "Mom, when are we going to the store? We need to go to the store."
I scanned everything in my house. Like I was like my parents didn't get it, but I was asking them like, does this have a barcode? Does that have a barcode? Like, why are you asking us what has barcodes? And suddenly I was wanting to go grocery shopping with my mom, and I was just like, she was like, come on, we gotta go to the next aisle. I'm like, I'm not done scanning everything on this aisle, Mom. Hang on. Like that was like I hadn't had fun with anything like that since like the Monster Rancher game. That was something pretty close because I remember going through every CD in the house, like CD, DVD, anything that had a D in it. Right. I was putting it in my PlayStation.
Yeah, and of course
to get some different monster.
Yeah, I mean, of course there were like the popular like pet games. So you had like Tamagotchis, and then I never had a Tamagotchi. I went straight for a fucking Digimon, like whatever.
Oh, the one that looked like a little brick wall.
Well, there was some.
The original?
I had the original one that was like egg shaped, or kind of egg shaped.
Okay. No, maybe I must have had version 2 then, because mine was orange. It was clear orange plastic, and the plastic looked kind of like a brick wall, and like the screen was like a broken out part of the brick wall where my Digimon was, and I had so much fun with that thing. Like I sucked at it for some reason. I don't know why.
What were those little things called? The little like digi devices. That was
digivices.
Digivice, right? That's all it was.
They're called digivices. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. I'm trying to look it up right now to see if I can find out what the first couple of actually I may have had like a second or third generation. Let me see if I can find the. Nope, it doesn't tell me anything. But yeah, I had like the ones that were kind of around it. I think that was from like the second season of Digimon.
Oh yeah, here's the one I had. I found a picture of it. Yeah, it's totally like a brick wall, and the screen is encased by like a frame with like a lock. It doesn't do anything, but it's just like for visual purposes. And it's like 3 buttons on the side.
Yeah, I see the one you're talking about. If you go to Google Images, at least for me, it's the ones that are like they look like walkie-talkies.
Oh no, yeah, those are like 3rd gen, I think.
Yeah. I had one of those.
I had one of those too.
And I remember, I don't know if the original ones did it, but these definitely, when you took them with you and you walked, they had that pedometer in them, so that would, like, they would walk and then, like, level up and run into monsters and stuff. And, man, I played the shit out of that one. I had the blue one that had Vmon on it, and, man, I just...
I think I had the blue one too, but I think I had. I think each one could be one of 2 Digimon, and my favorite was Armadillomon. So
yeah, I think my brother had chosen Armadillomon. But yeah, I actually I found my original one, and
so lucky,
and it still worked, which was crazy. Like the battery had not died on it yet.
These are like ridiculously expensive online.
Oh really?
Oh my god, there's like most of them are over $50. Like there's one for like $115 on here.
That's
even the
crazy.
old one says this one's $50. I still want
it. No, I love those things. Oh my, holy shit. Oh yeah, okay. I'm seeing them. They're like 50. Like I would like to. I'm trying to see if I can find one like what I had and how much they cost.
Yeah, the one I had is $65.
That is crazy.
Oh, I still want it. Like you can get basically the same thing on your phone as like a little widget, but it's not the same.
Oh no, there's nothing like having the fucking actual thing that you walk around and pull it out and you just click a couple buttons.
Mm-hmm, and link up with a friend and destroy them.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, whenever they release Tamagotchi for like as a phone app. It's just not the same. There's nothing like having that dedicated thing that's just its sole purpose. And the thing about it is they never came with like instructions. You just had to figure that shit out, and that's what made it so fun. Is you just like take time. But there were some other ones that were not like scannerz. And they were like pocket pets, but you could like link a couple of them together, and but they were like alien monsters or something. And I had one.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I don't think I had those, but I know what you're talking about. God, I wouldn't even know how to search for that because I didn't have one. So
yeah, me neither. I don't. Oh god, I don't know when they came out. Like the early 2000s, maybe
probably,
late 90s.
That has to been. Yeah, I don't even know.
Maybe it was just called like Aliens or something with a Z.
Oh, that's edgy.
That might be wrong. No, it's a band apparently.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll have to find it eventually. I mean, I could probably find it at my mom's house for sure, but oh man, yeah, those games, man. It's crazy what they could sell to kids. I mean, I'm sure they can still do that nowadays. I mean, they sell fucking fidget spinners to kids, so
right, yeah. That's kind of a weird thing to think about. Like as a kid, like you watched the show, you got the products, you were like, it was life, you know. But now as an adult, seeing what kids are into and are getting the same sort of feeling from, it's like, why? Like what we had was so much cooler than that. Why can't you have things like that? But in reality, we're just adults now. You know, like it's the same thing for them, but we don't see it in the same way because it wasn't ours. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like fidget spinners, like I don't understand exactly how they're so big, but I mean I can appreciate that they are, and I can appreciate that kids are into it the same way that I was into like Pokemon and Metabots and all the toys and all the things like that. You know, it's the same thing in general, but not tied to a show.
Oh yeah.
Maybe it'd be better if it was tied to a show.
Yeah. So we're getting close to an hour here, not quite, and so there was something that I wanted to, I guess, bitch about a little bit here.
Oh, you go on, Reggie, you bitch.
which is Nintendo's problem with getting fucking anything out. So, the SNES Mini Classic is going to be coming out here in September, and I have been waiting so fucking long for pre-orders to open up so I could get one. But I'm so afraid that I'm never going to be able to get one because they're just like, we're just not going to make enough of them. I mean, they've said that they're going to make more, but it's just like so frustrating. Like, Walmart accidentally opened up pre-orders. They ended up, I think, canceling all of them. But they accidentally opened up pre-orders, and I was only like an hour or two late, and they were already sold out.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, and it sucks because, like, the NES Classic was worse, and it's just... The problem with it is that, Nintendo, I don't think, realizes that they probably think, like, oh, man, demand is so good, and that makes people want it more, but really it just makes it more frustrating because, like, with the Switch, I cannot find a fucking Switch anywhere. And I would like to at least have the opportunity to buy one. Whether I buy one or not is a different story. But at least be able to walk into a store and go, oh, look, a Switch, But I can't. Oh, yeah. And so then it's like your options are to turn to fucking eBay and have scalpers fuck you in the ass, and so, whenever the pre-orders went online for the EU... You already saw scalpers throwing shit up on eBay for like triple the price, and it's just like
they got to make their money back, Reggie.
Yeah, it's just hopefully all these retailers here in the U.S. like limit their shit to just be like, okay, no, you can only buy the one and that's it. No, that way if you're trying to scalp this shit, you can't buy like 30 of them. Because it sucks because, like...
It's fair, to be honest. Because, realistically, who needs more than one?
Yeah.
Unless you're buying, one for you and a present for somebody else, well, then you just got to come back. I mean, it's fair for everybody,
Oh, yeah, like, my favorite fucking, like, video/story is whenever, like, the iPhone, like, I don't know, like, 3 or 4 was coming out or something. And these people were waiting out all night in front of the Apple Store, just waiting for the doors to open up so they could go and get their iPhone, right? And this fucking lady walks up, this like white privileged bitch ass lady, like walks up and it's like flaunting her cash and shit, and she's like, I'm gonna buy the whole store out. I've got like all this money and I'm gonna sell them online. And walks up to like, it's like the third person in line or something, and then she's like, yeah, so what would it take for me to buy your spot? And I think she ended up paying the guy like $500 or $800 or something for his spot in line, and he only just got pushed one spot back, and then it was the best thing ever because she's like all fucking cocky about this, and then they get up there and the AT&T employee's just like, yeah, ma'am, sorry, our policy is that we can only sell one per customer.
Oh, that's so great.
It was just, oh man, that's like exactly what I wanted. It's just like for her to get up there and just be like punch her in the face and be like, nah, bitch, fuck you. Don't ruin shit for other people. And it was good because then the other dude got like $800 and he spent it on a whole bunch of other shit, and it was nice. So, but it just sucks that there are people out there that like I follow. I like a website I use a lot is Slick Deals, and it lets you like know about like really good deals on just random shit people find and they'll post it on there. And so of course that's how I found out about the Walmart SNES pre-orders opening up was through there. And after I found out I couldn't order them anymore, I read through the comments and it was infuriating to see people be like, all right, cool, I ordered 7 of them, or I ordered 10 of them, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And,
oh, Jesus.
It sucks that people do that. I always hope that eventually, I know with things like all things Nintendo never fucking lose their value. They always just are really expensive.
Especially first party stuff. Just
oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, and so the hope is that like those people that do that, they end up never selling it, and then they have to sit on it and eventually sell it for way less than what they wanted, and they may only make their money back or a little less or a little more.
Right.
With Nintendo products, I know that's never going to be the case. But like another good story is whenever the Dark Knight Rises was coming out on Blu-ray, and you could pre-order it, they had a very limited special edition that came with a broken back cowl, and they were numbered. And I was going to buy it myself, but I decided, my grandma was like, well, no, let me buy it for you for Christmas. And I was like, okay, that's no problem. And so she doesn't know really how to use the internet or anything, so I was just like, okay, I'm going to print off the pre-order page for Best Buy, and I'm going to give it to you. It's just going to have that product on it, and you're going to take it up to this customer help desk, and you're going to say, I want to pre-order my grandson this thing, and show them the picture, and they'll pre-order it for you. Well, she does that. Come Christmas morning, before I even start opening the thing, she was like, there's a story behind this, and I'm really sorry. And I opened it up, and it was the Steelbook fucking, like, Best Buy exclusive or whatever for The Dark Knight Rises. And I just looked at her, and she was like, okay, I gave them what you gave me, and that's what they pre-ordered for me. And I was just like, how the fuck do you mess that shit up? Like, I gave you the exact product page with all the numbers and everything that you would need to pull it up, and you pre-order the wrong fucking thing? Man, I was pissed. And of course, what happens, because they're limited, you go online and you try to buy one, and, I think it was originally like $80 for it, maybe $100, and you go online, people selling it for $500-$600.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and of course, the closer their number was to zero, the more expensive it was.
Higher price.
And so I was just like, man, I was like, fuck this. I'm just not going to worry about it. Whatever. I was really, really upset about it. And so I could buy one now, because you go online now, and they're like $100, $80, $70. You can get them really cheap. And whenever I see that, I just laugh on the inside. It's like, how you got what you fucking deserve, like trying to, get one over on people that are like legitimately wanting this product. I think I may have found the game that I was talking about earlier. It's called Pox Alien. It was made by...
Wait, hang on. I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was made by Hasbro back in 2001. And I had the Spino one. And they were... I don't know, they're just like... I don't know. They were weird. It was really hard to play. It didn't make a lot of sense. But all I remember is that you could like connect them together and or at least maybe you could connect them together. I don't even remember. But
I remember these.
Yeah, they were really fucking weird.
I don't know if I had one. I don't think I had one. I don't think I did. Like, they look familiar, but I don't remember ever holding one. So I don't think I actually ever had one. But I remember this.
I think they were wireless and they could like communicate with each other. I don't remember. Anyway, but I'm glad I found it. But anyway, yeah. So all in all, my point earlier was that 1, Nintendo, get your shit together and makes more of your stuff that people want, and then 2, fuck scalpers.
Right. You just figure that Nintendo knows that people are gonna buy this product. Like, there's no way they're not gonna sell, like, it's printing money basically, so why wouldn't they just make as many as possible? Because no matter how many they make, they're gonna sell them,
right? Or at least if they say, hey, we're gonna do this, everybody who wants one, pre-order it, put a down payment, and then we'll go, okay, we're gonna make that many,
right? Plus like 5,000.
Something, because it just sucks that, I never really played the NES when I was a kid. I started off with the SNES, but it'd be nice to have an NES classic mini as like a collector's item.
Oh, true.
But I'm not gonna pay like $300 for one. There's no fucking way. I'd rather buy a Switch, which I can't fucking find either.
Oh, Nintendo problems.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think we're gonna wind down here.
Yeah, that's all I had.
So, thank you guys for listening to another episode. If it sounded a little weird, it's because we're testing out recording over Skype. Not that every episode is going to be this way, but we're just testing it out for future interviews for people who can't come into our studio and record. So, it's better.
Hopefully it sounds okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the waveform, and it looks like it'll be okay. I know it's a lot easier, apparently, for us to clip, and so we'll just kind of have to fix it or deal with it. But, yeah, I mean, just let us know what you think about it. Or if you know better ways to record like a Skype conversation with somebody, then we'd be glad. I mean, we're also just contending with the fact that anybody that we interview to say, hey, okay, record or download Audacity and just record your own audio and then send it to us, and we'll have to splice it together. It's always
sounds like a pain.
Yeah, it'll be a pain, but it'll be better than nothing.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I mean, it's either that or this, and so I know this is not going to sound the greatest, but it sounds better than the couple other things we tried. So yeah, anyway, okay, well, we will see you next week, guys. Hope you have a good one.
Yeah, this is James
and Reggie.
All right, see you later.
Bye.